investigation. I don't know all the facts, but I tell you what, I'm way more interested in what's going on, how the media is going to handle this, than I am in anything else going forward. Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Crease with Tommy C. That's right, Evander Kane. Here we go again, gentlemen. And with me today is none other than Jack Malay. It's Jack Malay Monday. That's the way it's all about. And none other than Jeff the Huffman, who's going to be also helping us today. Here we go again, boys. Evander Kane brought up on... look, we don't know facts. There's going to be... Should I say there's going to be no speculation? No, I'm probably end up lying about it. But I got to be honest with you, since we don't have any facts, you know what? We'll cut the music. We'll go. I'll give you the report, and then we'll comment on the report. I took something off the Buffalo News, and that might be the best way to handle it going forward. Here we go. I'm going to cut the music, and here's part of the report that I took. And
During the morning skate here this morning, but all of this is happening as Evander Kane is at the center of an investigation into allegations of a sexual offense. Sources tell us the incident happened at the Buffalo Marriott Harbor Center, and a person came forward with accusations against Evander Kane early yesterday morning. At this point, he has not been charged with any crime, but we are told the investigation is still in its early stages. Sources have confirmed for us that Kane's car is now in police custody, but right now we have no word about what police may be looking for in that. In the meantime, Kane's teammates say they are focusing on tonight's game and not the investigation. Jamie McGinn told News 4 the team is just supporting Kane in any way they can. And here's what Evander Kane had to say about all of this.
There's not a whole lot I can say. I just want to say I've done nothing wrong. I look forward to clearing my name. I respect the legal process. And unfortunately, this time, there's not much more I can talk about.
That's about the only way you can handle it, but that's it. So I was a little surprised that Kane made any statement at this point. I mean, he's a little different. Yeah. He's a little bit different situation than Patrick Kane because this happened during the summer. So Patty was able to actually avoid just about anything, and he's also in the middle of a Stanley Cup celebration. Look, it does kind of like whether he didn't do it or stuff like that. We're gonna find out. Terry sent me a tweet or a personal message, and she said something. Well, time will tell. No, DNA will tell, and that's really what it comes down to. The only thing that really interests me at this point is how is the media going to handle this? We had a situation where even after the facts were very clear. In the Patrick Kane case, the evidence was not pointing in his direction. In fact, it was pointing just about everywhere else but him. And in some cases, quite literally. Are they going to handle this a little differently? And no one's going to say this, and I'm gonna put it right on the line. I expect this to be handled differently. With the simple, and it shouldn't be this way, and the world shouldn't be this way, but it is. So I'm going to talk about
Here we go.
Evander Kane is black.
Yeah.
Evander Kane is black. So this very well might be treated differently. Why? Because the SJWs have a victims list. And traditionally, in that bizarro world, race trumps gender. A black hockey player, a successful guy, a guy that they've defended in the past, and somebody who I've been actually pretty hard on. I've been pretty hard on Evander Kane. But being a douche and doing push-ups with dollar bills on your back does not make you a rapist.
Right.
So I am very fascinated to see how this goes forward. Do you have any predictions about this, Jack? I don't know. What do we expect to see?
I was surprised that he made a statement. I was surprised that he already came out and said, I did nothing wrong. You know, Patrick Kane kept pretty quiet for a long time, for months. Mm-hmm. But so the terminology coming out is sexual offense, not rape, not assault, offense. So what does that mean?
It could mean anything.
That's a pretty broad term,
He called some girl a slut, and she didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah,
it could be. I mean, it could be something in my opinion, small like that, or it could be something more major. But I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. But I hope the media has learned its lesson from all this. From
No, get the
last
fuck
time.
out of here. See,
Oh,
I
no.
keep on.
Hey, fingers crossed.
No,
fingers
there's
crossed.
no fingers to cross. The media had an agenda with Patrick Kane. The only difference is that they might have to handle this differently because Evander Kane has the option to pull the race card, whether he's guilty or innocent. That's the difference. So that's why, like, I'm getting a lot of people saying, well, it looks like Puck Daddy's being quiet about it. It's only 24 hours old. Not even 24 hours old. They are looking to see what they're going to do in the future.
Yeah,
we don't have
got
any...
released after our shit show yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Right after I go off the air, I would have headlined with that. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to make fun of something like that either. What do you think's going to happen with this, Jeff?
I don't know. Like you said, it's not even a day old. So I mean, we're just gonna have to wait to see what other information comes out. Like Jack said, I was surprised he made a statement so early.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing really out there at the moment, so don't really know what to think.
Deception, because I just want to leave this on the media, Oh, by the way, shout out to Andre Corbeil. I'm gonna make him really happy right now with the Oilers jersey. Okay, that's him. That's him. And then also shout out to Real Talk, who said we just got a brother in Star Wars, and now this. So look, we can't speculate on what happened.
He blames Finn. Damn Star Wars.
I blame fucking Finn. Real Talk, Men of Bar Messiah, Black Mozart. Check it out. All right. So look, we can't speculate on this. I don't look. Evander Kane has a rotten reputation in the National Hockey League. And Patrick Kane, there's a lot of similarities other than the name. Patrick Kane didn't have the best reputation going into it. There's a little more distance between incidents. But here's the thing. None of that matters. None of that matters going forward. I'm just going to repeat. So, like I said, my only interest is the media and how they behave. The media never learns. It's not because they're like, the Patrick Kane situation was like, whoops, we fucked up. No, it's like, whoops, we failed. Because the agenda was to blur the lines on something we take for granted in the first world with the presumption of innocence. To blur the lines. Now, that's going to be a little more difficult when you're a social justice warrior when a black guy is in the targeting field or in the crosshairs. It's going to be very, very different because he can pull a card. Patrick Kane can't pull a card. He's a privileged athlete, a privileged white athlete. So they're going to be very, very careful. I would not be a bit shocked if you see a situation. Guys that were saying that Patrick Kane should sit are going to be screaming about, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but it wouldn't shock me, they are also going to scream about due process. The same ones that say he should sit after we know the DNA evidence didn't put him at the scene of the crime. I would not be shocked. And I'm challenging everybody that's listening to this right now. You see it, Mark Lazarus, Adam Proto, Greg Wyshynski, Jen with DeMarco over there in Chicago. Mm-hmm. See how things change. The media can't learn because they have an agenda, and the agenda is more important than the truth.
See if there's anything up there right now. I'll look at that.
This is.
I looked on Twitter before I got on with you guys, and I was amazed how quiet things really were on the Twitter front with this
so far.
Right.
So far.
Yeah, with Patrick Kane, it was like the next day everyone was screaming that he should be crucified or something.
Yeah, and I think there's a reason for that. Because he's black. And that's going to play differently. And I remember Debbie just said to me a couple months ago, imagine if this is PK Subban. And lo and behold, we have a very similar situation. Now, PK Subban is the pride of the freaking league. He's a superhuman being. He's great with kids. He's got a big smile, and he's happy to play. With the possible exception of diving, PK Subban is not just a good Afro-American or Afro-North American, for lack excuse me. He's just a good guy to have in the league. just because he's a good guy. But we do have a very similar situation to the point where it's Buffalo and the guy's name's Kane. It's insane. This really got me. It blew my mind. It's a little wordy. I'm gonna go through with it. You know, I read like crap when I'm on a line, but I just this got me. This is from Greg Wyshynski, talking about Evander Kane actually giving a statement, which was shocking. There's a lot to unpack here with Evander Kane in this case. We're going to hear a lot about race. We're going to hear about Kane's reputation back in Winnipeg and previous police investigations that resulted in a civil suit. But we're mostly going to hear about how the police, the city, the media, and the hockey fans react to the news versus how they reacted to Kane, the other Kane's fellow sexual offense investigation, which regrettably splintered the hockey community. It didn't splinter the hockey community.
I'm still here.
No, it didn't splinter the hockey community. It exposed how far off to the political left mainstream hockey journalist is. And I saw those goddamn comment sections, Greg. I saw every one of them. You were getting crucified. And you're feeling the heat. And this is why they're quiet. This is why. Why is it so quiet? Why is it so quiet? Because he's black. And they don't know how to handle it yet. They're going to come up with a way. But they don't know how to do it. Yeah, I might be held, my career and my way of reporting on things may be judged by how I handled the previous case. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's the most interesting thing to me because I don't know what happened. If I find out this girl was violated, I will trash this prick like I've trashed him in the past. I promise you. Promise you. Said the same thing during the Patrick Kane thing. I'll be consistent. I'm saying they won't. These battle lines appear to be drawn in permanent ink. I've already seen carton calls for treating this like this Kane like that Kane, or no one should do that, or the validity of the accusation about the performance of the police and the media, about the reaction from the NHL or lack thereof, or increasingly common incidents. Yet just like with Patrick Kane, we have a potential victim in the Evander Kane situation, whose well-being is far from the top of the mind for those already keenly observing the situation. You'd think after the fourth high-profile hockey player, Kane, Vlarnov, and Voynov, by the way, two of those guys weren't rape fucking accusations. They were dead-on domestic assault.
One beat his wife and the other pushed her down the steps.
Yes, much different than a sexual assault. One of those guys was clear. Two of those guys were clearly guilty. And one of them wasn't
treated appropriately. He's no longer in the league, so that's not even.
It's not even an issue. So much for rape culture. Yeah.
How much of this is it because he's black, and then how much is it because he's not Patrick Kane? Like Patrick Kane's the superstar. Evander Kane's not exactly the face of the league. I mean,
he has potential.
That's playing devil's advocate here. If a fourth liner down in Florida did the same thing, I don't think it'd get nearly as much media attention.
Yeah. But this is just like with Patrick Kane, we have a potential victim in Evander Kane's situation whose well-being is far from the top of the mind of the people that are already keenly observing the situation. You'd think after the fourth high-profile hockey player to be investigated by the police in 3 years, consideration for the potential victim would be the minimum expected. Well, I got something to say about this because I'm about to fucking blow up right now, and I'm not even kidding. I'm not even funny blowing up. I'm fucking so pissed off right now. The reason that girl's interest isn't at the top of people's mind is because of fucking you. Because of you. You put an innocent man on a pedestal even after you knew the facts and said he should sit and be punished. It's because of your lousy reporting. The community has been split. We lost faith in you. Because you're a liar with an agenda. You don't give a fuck about this girl. You don't give a fuck about the other girl. You certainly didn't give a fuck about that poor 18-year-old girl that said she wanted to marry a Red Wing. It's all agenda-based. And that's why you're being quiet now, you filthy fucking prick. You don't care about these girls. You don't even care if they were raped. now you're feeling the heat of, guess what? Most people think that this girl's probably lying. We don't know whether she's lying or not, and I'll be honest, I am too. In the back of, I'm going to say, hey, everybody reserve judgment. In the back of my mind, I think she's lying. Why? I don't fucking trust you. You don't give a shit about these girls. You don't know the damage you did to rape victims by running that story and continuing it after you knew the facts about Patrick Kane. That's the damage that you did. And now, because a black guy's being accused, you're more worried about how your career is going to be viewed, not whether this girl has been violated and humiliated. This was the danger in the Patrick Kane case. And now you got it. But I got to be honest with you, that's not going to change Greg Wyshynski, Ryan Lampert, Adam Provo, Mark Lazarus, or that witch in Chicago, DeMarco. Because politics are more important than people, their well-being, their lives, or whether they've been raped or not. It is more important that we blur the lines of the presumption of innocence. And that's what Not My NHL was really about. Oh, Jen Neal, you could go, you're a witch too. A phony and a liar. That's the fucking problem. I can understand holding them accountable up until the point where there was no DNA there. But to sit there and complain and bitch as the Stanley Cup fucking banner's going up, when we knew from without a shadow of a doubt there was no chance he was going to get charged, and you blaming the NHL, well, we have to keep victims first. You don't give a fuck about victims. And here's another thing. Ever think for a minute that if Evander Kane did do this, he might get off because people won't believe them anymore? That's serious. That's bigger than hockey. Fuck you. I mean, I can't believe he's worried about his fucking career.
We need to bring back the Greg Wyshynski hotline.
Yeah. Why not? There it is. This is what he said would be appropriate to do when Patrick Kane came to your town. To put a picture of the Buffalo rape hotline. This is what he said. So I put his picture on it. Actually, no, somebody sent this to me. I wish I was this smart. Feel the heat, Greg? Or maybe you don't. It's unfucking believable. Unbelievable. They don't care about these girls. They don't care. They care about their agenda. All right, let's talk about the goddamn World Juniors.
I like how you had that loaded up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Fire that thing
No,
up.
I remember that. That's what he suggested. Is it so outrageous to put his picture on it? I want to call Pierre. Maybe he'll get me to calm down.
There you go.
Where's Pierre? Pierre. LMNOP.
I mean, I think you talk more coherently when you're ranting and screaming.
Well, I'm not drinking. Pierre, what's happening, buddy?
I'm having fun right now.
What?
I took my gum out.
Well, you're a very respectful young man.
Yeah. I didn't.
Come on.
Hey, fuck you, Dave Rose. You know. I don't care if you chew gum or not. But listen, World Juniors, the United States beat Canada the other day, a little bit of a shocker, and then they lose to Sweden today.
McDonald's shit the bed.
Yeah, they did, but Finland's getting pounded earlier today, but they made it a game towards the end, but the Russians kind of got a hold of that game in the third period. Obviously, I'm putting European on for a reason, because this tournament is a big deal in two places: Canada, Finland, and Sweden, and parts of the Czech Republic as well.
Czech Republic.
This is a big
Czechs in Helsinki right now.
A lot of Czechs in Helsinki right now. Are you in
Yep,
Helsinki by any chance? Are you in Sydney?
I lived right next to Helsinki.
Okay, so you live like in the New Jersey of Helsinki, so I know how you feel growing up.
Yep.
All right. This tournament's a round robin tournament, and I just wanted to ask you, like, this for Europe, this is one of the big ones. This is in some ways it's even bigger than the actual Worlds towards the end of the NHL hockey season. How do you feel about this tournament? Personally, and after that, I like to ask you, like, where do you see the semifinals going from here after what's already happened?
I like the tournament's idea that we see players who are not yet drafted and who are like just beginning their careers and have shown some kind of talent and stuff like that. But other than that, not so big.
So you don't you're not a big lover of this tournament.
I like it, but not too much. I'm
No.
not very pumped for this stuff.
You're not really
Like it
pumped for
can.
this. Well, is it because they lost? Is because the Finns lost today?
Yes.
At least he's honest. But this
Or
is a big
last year I
deal.
was very pumped because we were not last year, but the year before that when we were in finals. And
Yeah.
Barcelona scores the overtime winner.
But I mean, you could see guys like last year. We got to see Max Domi. We got a preview of Connor McDavid. I mean, let's see if I can get a picture up there.
Duclair.
But there's some pretty these are names that if you watch this tournament, and I don't know where you can watch this in the States because I don't live in the States anymore. But I have a list of these players that I bet you know better than I do. Let's see here. Let me put the thing up here. There we go. We'll put this up here. Guys like this is generally consensual of what you're going to see in a lot of Finnish players too. Austin Matthews, he's a center for Team USA.
He's been amazing in the Swedish league. He's over 1 point per game in a men's league. That's fucking impressive.
Jesse, they got a guy named Jesse in Finland. Can you pronounce his last name? Jesse Pustinen. You know who this guy is right here?
Yeah, yes, he's a very impressive player, but he was kind of sloppy today, but he got like 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
It's pronounced Jesse Puljujärvi.
Oh yeah, that. And Patrick, I think I can handle this one. Lean.
Line.
Line. Close enough.
He's a
Whoa.
very impressive kid.
Yeah, he's
First
very
year
impressive.
in the league.
He
He's
got
playing with men in one of the top teams in the league.
Well,
16 points in 24 games.
The thing that gets me about this list: 3 Finns, 4 Americans, 2 Swedes, no Canadians.
No Canadians.
No Canadians. And this might you take a look at this, folks. This very well might be the draft this year.
Are you sure this is updated?
This was I don't know. Well, they got Matthew Tkachuk.
This is draft class. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the draft class, something like that.
It's
yeah.
not points because there's Sebastian Aho, who's a very impressive guy.
Sebastian Aho. And who's he play for?
Finland, of course.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's the other one who has the same exact name and he plays for Sweden.
And he plays for Sweden. So yeah,
But Aho right now has 21 points in 23 games with Kärpät of the Finnish league, which is the number 1 team right here.
Is that the number 1
Champions.
league though? Is that like the league? And I guess you guys call it Liga, correct?
Yep. This team has won 3 in a row championships, and he's playing for the first line. He played last year in this league as a 16-year-old kid.
All right. Deception asks, how's Lean compared to you know what I'm talking about?
Sebastian Aho.
Yeah. How do you think of how do they compare? This one of the fans is asking that. How do you feel about those 2 players, Finnish players?
I see Aho a lot better.
Or
are you talking about Puljujärvi or?
Yeah, that guy. I can't say that, man. What do you think? I'm American.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I believe Puljujärvi is higher in the draft picks, but I don't see a big difference in these players. They're a bit of the same level. Hard to
put your finger on at this point.
Yeah.
Final. Who's going to be in
Aho
the?
is the number 1. Aho is the number 1.
Little surprise today after some miracle penalty killing from the Swedes. Team USA was not able to get the win, which puts them in a position where almost a must-win situation where it looks like they were going to basically cruise after beating Canada. Where do you see the finals ending up? Because it ends up just a little after the new year, and it's usually a fantastic game. Who do you see in the final?
This is hard to choose. I mean, I had Sweden winning it first, which is hard to say because of William Nylander, but then he got injured in the first fucking game. But Czech Republic is pretty strong because of Pasternak. He's playing his
Pasternak.
third tournament.
So we're going to see a little more from the Czechs because the Czechs have not been dominant in these tournaments in recent years.
Yes, I believe the Czechs can really put on a show. Of course, Russia every year is
Yeah,
up there.
of course. It's like Canada. You know they're going to be good. Well, I appreciate your time. I'm sorry.
My guys can pretty much put up a show if they are playing for the home
Okay,
crowd.
so
like,
you think it's going to be Sweden and the Czech Republic in the final?
Might be. Very likely. Canada and Russia might slip in, but Czechs and Swedes.
No chance for the United States team.
No.
Why not? Why not, you jerk? You got 3 Americans on here. Why don't you butter my ass a little bit, Pierre?
I don't see anything special about this team. I mean, I see the firepower with these other teams like Pasternak, and I love our team right now. I believe this team has the most offensive talent for 2 to 3 years.
What about this guy, Linus? He was the goaltender. He put on a real show, 43 shows for Sweden. Linus Soderstrom? Soderstrom. He looked really sharp, and he's a big Islanders draft pick, from what I understand.
46 saves. I mean,
46 saves, shutout. Amazing.
Is this guy going to be consistent? Is he a future NHLer, or was this just a fluke?
Definitely not sure. I haven't watched this guy. I don't even know what teams he plays. Really, is he in the AHL or is he in SHL?
Okay. All right, fair enough. Hey, Pierre, thanks for coming on. Speaking your spec. Speaking your. How you doing in school?
Fine.
You getting any chicks?
Fine.
That's fine too.
Are you real? Oh, really? Really? Do you have a girlfriend?
Not yet. Not like a
girlfriend.
official one.
You keep that up and have 2 fucking. Hey, listen, 3 unofficials are better than 1 official. I
was gonna say, isn't it? It's probably better to be unofficial anyway.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm Pierre Postinen, the Finnish news flash. You should be happy that you're unofficial. Maybe one day. All right, take care, Pierre. Thanks for calling in, buddy. All right, but I want to promote the DM tournament. I think it's a really good tournament. You get to see some young kids. You're going to see some guys that are on your team next year. Like I said, I saw Matt Godomi. I got to see Connor McDavid for the first time. It's a really, 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 really good tournament. All right, back to the boys.
Matthew Tkachuk's in that.
Matthew. Oh, speaking of Matthew Tkachuk. So, I see Matthew Tkachuk, and he takes a penalty, and they flip up. He goes, Papa's not happy. And I'm looking at this guy. And I'm like, what do you mean Papa's not happy? That looks like the cop from Breaking Bad. It's Keith Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Keith Tkachuk retired, 2009?
After 2009-2010 season.
Look at him now! He's only 4 years older than me. And
they go downhill quick.
I'm making it about me. Oh, my God. He does. He looks like the cop from Breaking Bad.
He's got a special place with me, too.
I love Keith Tkachuk. I love Keith Tkachuk
too.
and Jeremy Roenick and Jerome McGinley, and those are my favorite. I love tough guys. But what happened? What is he trying to do to himself? What happened?
You know, that just goes to show just skating nonstop all the time, like how great of exercise that is. Because I mean, he's been out of the league for 4 years.
It also shows you how much I think he has a glandular. How could he get that heavy that quick?
Brett Hull got pretty big too, quick.
Yeah. Brett Hull's a pretty good size too.
You know what it is? You're right, Jeff. They can eat and drink and go party and go fucking crazy and shit, and then they stop skating, and that's it. 718-395-7660. We're going to do a little overtime today. If you have any hockey crap,
you don't burn as many calories playing golf and smoking cigars as you do.
No.
Nicholas McCall, legend. I absolutely agree. Let's see what else
legend too.
Who's a legend?
American legend.
Yeah,
Keith Tkachuk. He's an American legend. I am a little. I like Pierre because he says, "All right, I'm biased. I don't care. I'm fit," and that's the way I feel about Keith Tkachuk. Yeah.
The only guy I really love, and he's a little different generation because obviously he's still playing, is Jerome McGinley. I love. He's a Canadian guy. I love. He's not as big, but he's got the heart of Gordie Howe. And
it's hard not to like a Gimla.
I can't. He's just one of my favorite players of all time. God, what happened to Keith Tkachuk? It just makes me feel lousy. Keith Tkachuk used to look like a Marine on the ice. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, when he first got here,
he looked like a Marine, right?
Yeah.
Now he looks like a retired Marine. That stopped the PT. Torts calls.
He's really taking on the mantra of Big Walt.
He didn't look happy. I couldn't believe that was Keith Kachuk. Oh, Papa's not happy up there in the stands. That's not Keith Kachuk. That guy, somebody has a different name. How many fucking people are named Kachuk? That's what I started. And sure enough, that was Keith Kachuk. This really, I almost cried. He's only 43. And he's 40 fucking 2 in that picture.
Gun Cannon said he looks like an overweight Cal Ripken.
Oh, yeah, he does a little bit.
Cal Ripken's getting there himself.
Yeah. Chubby wubby. At least he's 50-something. What the hell happened to Keith Kachuk? Torts calling out. Torts calls. Real quick. Let's do the Scrivens and Zach Cassian trade. Who likes to get drunk? Right. And tell that somebody else is driving. What do you guys think first, Jeff? What do you got on Zach Cassian going to Ben Scrivens? Obviously, the Canadians unloading somebody who could potentially be a problem. Bringing in Ben Scrivens, who at times, especially for the Los Angeles Kings, as Jack Malay knows, showed up really good when Jonathan Quick was done. How do you feel about this trade? Or is it even, it seems to be, because there's been no blockbusters, this is kind of being blown up bigger than it really is. But go ahead.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. I mean, Price has no timetable for his return, and the Canadians, I think, have dropped 6 in a row, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, Condon and Tokarski really aren't getting it done. I mean, maybe Scrivens could come in and, I don't know, maybe give him a little bit of a spark. He was their number 1 last year. He went 15, 26, and 11 with the Oilers last year. I mean, a lot of that's not his fault because he had a bunch of blue and orange cones as a defense.
What happened to the balanced scoring for the? I mean, is this Montreal Canadiens team? Did I miss something? They were very clearly the best team in the East in the first part of the season. Are they relying this much on strong goaltending? I thought they had balanced scoring. What happened? I don't know what's going on over there. I can understand getting rid of Zach Cassian. Ben Scrivens not a bad goalie. I often wonder if he hasn't been given a little clinch from there. He did a good job for you guys in 2013 when during the Quick injury. What's your
there's a big difference. I mean, he's got some really good players in front of him in LA. I don't think he's going to be the answer in Montreal. He might be able to. I mean, they're like 1-9 in the last 10. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, long term, I don't trust the Canadians if Price isn't playing. Period. So.
Really?
Which is weird because they got some extremely talented players that they I don't know.
Patches was on fire in the beginning of the season. Like player of the week and stuff.
Yeah.
They can't rely that much on goal. You got to have something. I mean, goalies probably could win. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Ron Hextall. Year I think he lost the Oilers. Got the damn most valuable player. Didn't win the cup because the Flyers couldn't put it in the net. But they have to. They can't just lean on a goalie. I'm a little surprised with Tokarski. I thought Tokarski was a real deal with his run in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Yeah, Tokarski and Condon. I thought they had their backup role fulfilled, and I would think most people probably take Tokarski and Condon over Ben Scrivens. He's kind of bounced around.
Right.
Andre Corbio, Scrivens 100% a backup, never be number 1. That depends over there, pal.
I think Zach Cassian's going to AHL for like a month anyway. I don't think he's going right to Edmonton.
He's got to work out so he doesn't look like Keith Kachuk. What do they call that now?
Yeah.
Conditioning stint.
Yeah, conditioning stint.
Conditioning stint.
It's not a you suck stint anymore. It's a conditioning stint. It's not I got in trouble and I got traded to Montreal and then I decided to crash my car and blame it on the broad that was sitting next to me. No, it's a conditioning stint. I think that's very much. Wow. You know, how your life can turn around, except if you're Patrick Kane, and when you do something really stupid. Well, actually, he didn't do anything stupid, so maybe that's why his life turned around. Trix Cobra, who haven't seen you in the chat in a long time. How you feeling about your, God, I wonder if you guys would call in. I'd love to hear you guys call in and Cal Ripken. That's too funny. I just saw that. It's funny. Like, it was funny when you said it, but it was even funnier when I saw it.
Yeah. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah. Torts, not very happy. He's calling his team embarrassing, weak mentally.
That voice crack.
Blast the leaders. Scott Hartnell, kind of on his list, probably deserves it.
I'd be pretty pissed off, too, if my team was 29th in the league. So, yeah.
Well, to me, the way I'm reading this is get Hartnell out of here. That's the way I'm reading it, because I think that's what he'll do, and he'll try to lean on the general managers to move players. And he's kind of in position to do it because this season's lost.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so
don't think this is a Tortorella kind of team. I mean, he was brought in, 8, 9, 10 games in the season.
Mm-hmm.
The team wasn't. They didn't bring Torts in and then draft players that he wanted and he thought he could coach. He was just brought in. And the Ryan Johansson thing, I think, I don't know. To me, I'm kind of torn. I think the Johansson thing could turn out to be like the Bruins and Tyler Seguin, to where they let him go and then he goes somewhere else and he's like freaking could win the Art Ross Trophy or something.
I'm sure we can find a nice spot for him here.
Oh, really? You like
Yeah.
that idea? Well, I think, the thing is, if Torts doesn't like you, I wonder if there's a working issue. And I don't know if Torts is wrong, but the way I'm reading this situation, he's putting pressure on the GM to get the kind of team that he wants, which he was constantly doing, maybe too much so when he was in New York. He didn't really
He's trying to be the
too...
Chip Kelly of the NHL.
Yeah, he's trying to lean on him, and he wants the pieces in place. He has one way of playing hockey, and which is surprising that he's the USA coach, which I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know how he's going to coach a team like that. But he has very specific idea on what he wants in a certain player, and that doesn't necessarily mean skill. You don't necessarily need skill players. I wouldn't be shocked if something out of Tortorella's mouth, like, I don't need Patrick Kane. I could see that coming out of his mouth. No, he never said it, but I could see that. He wants certain players in the pieces, and if Scott Hartnell's not filling that role, he wants his veteran ass out of there. Out of there. God, we got to give a shout out to our Florida Panthers vlogger that we did
First
our
place in the Atlantic Division.
First place.
taking advantage of the situation in Montreal. Holy crap!
Yep.
Well, we knew this team had heart, and we knew they probably were a little better than they thought, and there's a team coming together.
Right.
God, they just might manage to save themselves from.
And
going
they got
there.
Yager. I mean, you have
they
to
got
like
the sensei and Yager over there.
How's he playing over there? Is he, because he's slowed down for a little bit, right? How's he doing over there?
Teeth knocked out the other night.
Look like one of the vampires from Twilight.
Yeah.
Still a better.
No
lip sync.
penalty on the call either.
Yeah, I know. I heard
How that happened.
I heard Dennis Potvin like having a fit. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. How about the fucking penalty that they didn't call on you against the Rangers? Potvin sucks. Sorry, I actually like Dennis Potvin a lot because he's one of the few.
4-time Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah, he's good, and not only that, he doesn't give a fuck. He will say anything, Dennis Potvin.
Yager's got 10 goals and 15 assists.
I think that's more than Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Probably is.
Crosby doesn't have the right line combination.
Yeah. Someone in the media finally called him out, and I
Who?
was just doing backflips. I don't remember the guy's name. Greg something Brillis.
Send it to me.
I'll send it to you. I did a video about it. You mean you didn't watch it?
No. I haven't done anything hockey related. I'm getting back. I had to get back in the freaking thing in the fold today. No, but I will watch that. That's something I would.
Sidney Crosby's a coach killer.
Wow,
So,
that's wow.
Strong language, and I liked it because I agree completely.
I don't even necessarily agree with that statement, but I'm just happy that I don't know what the fuck he is. Personally, honest with you, I'm just happy that I'm hearing something negative about the kid for once from the mainstream media. A lot like the Evander Kane situation. They're all quiet.
Yeah.
They're all quiet because we're all supposed to love Sidney and like it and not complain about him or we're sexist. What? Yes. Well, you called him Sidney Crosby. That makes you... Oh. I don't like him, and I don't have to. And I don't want to either. And you know what? Here's another thing about the face of the league. Since he sucks, nobody seems to care.
Yeah, no kidding.
Have you noticed that? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because he's not likable. He's not likable.
Sid the Kid. That's a great nickname for him because he's always going to be a kid. He's never going to grow up. He's never just going to be like... But the media will never like stick it to him either. They're always going to defend him. They're always going to find an excuse for him.
Bottom line.
Yep.
Absolutely. Bottom line. Here's a commercial for you folks. And the last one of the night. And then we'll go, we'll wrap this up. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? Or?
I don't think I have anything off the top of my head.
No, really. Torrey Krug and David Krejci out with for the Bruins. The injuries piling up on them after they're putting a pretty good season together.
You want to hear something funny, though?
Also benefiting the Florida Panthers. But go ahead. Yeah, sure.
the amount of goals the Ducks have scored this year.
Jeff got jokes.
They scored
60?
65 goals.
55 goals.
It's ridiculous.
They are under 2 goals a game.
Is Getzlaf still on? Is he on 2 now? He has 2 goals, I think.
What happened over there?
Jeez.
He's either got 1 or 2. I'm gonna Google
These
that.
are Stanley Cup winning players we're talking about.
Maybe they all have the mumps again, and we just don't know it.
Somebody needs to accuse them of rape. Get them fucking going. Fucking
What?
Patrick Kane. That's what
Getzlaf has 2 goals this year.
Yeah.
He's got 20 assists though.
Yeah.
Last night in the National Hockey League, and tonight in the National Hockey League, Keith Tkachuk still fat. That's right.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. God, what happened to him? Boston Bruins, they come up short against the Ottawa Senators. Sens take that 3-1. St. Louis Blues, they get blown out by the goddamn Dallas Stars, and Jamie Benn gets me to beat Jack Malay in my fantasy week, which I sucked all week, and Jamie fucking Benn. Can you believe it?
Yeah, because I benched Scott Hartnell to play Jeff Carter. Jeff Carter got injured. And
You
then
really like Tortorella, don't you?
Hartnell picked up like 17 points. Hartnell picked up like 17 points because he got tossed. 10-minute misconduct, and I lost because of that.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the problems of it. That's why friggin' they're going to healthy scratch him over there, because he keeps getting dumb penalties.
But hey, it helps me out in fantasy points.
I know.
So, except when you don't play him.
He's a fantasy, yeah, right. Well, he ain't going to be playing much longer if he's taking dumbass penalties like that. Toronto, they take the Islanders, a little bit of surprise in Brooklyn, 3-1. Columbus, they lose again. Florida, first in their division overall. They take the Blue Jackets, 3-2. Carolina Hurricanes, a little bit of shock. They beat the Chicago Blackhawks 2-1. A lot of upsets. And the Arizona Coyotes, they beat the Avs 2-1. Philadelphia Flyers, they get beat by the Anaheim Ducks. What's going on? And the Pittsburgh Penguins, well, this isn't a shock. Winnipeg beat them 1-0, the Pens. Edmonton Oilers, they lose to the Calgary Flames. Are they turning it around in Calgary? Please? Can Ryan Lampard be wrong?
Yes.
Can analytics be bullshit?
And they're in a good division.
Yes.
The one
They
line
can still
of
make
doom.
it.
Johnny Hockey's going to be Hall of Fame one day. You heard me. Dave didn't like when I said that. He's like, are you sure about that? Yes. I'm very sure about it. You know why? Because he's Johnny Hockey from New Jersey. I love him. Love him. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Washington. They're in Buffalo to take on the accused. And 7:30 Eastern Time, the Montreal Canadiens. They're in Tampa Bay. Take on the Lightning. New York Rangers. Nashville. Woohoo! Hockey, baby. 8 o'clock Eastern Standard. Wings. They're in the Minnesota North Stars land. That's right, I said North Stars. And not only was I right about North Stars, at the stadium season, they're wearing a North Star jersey. Or the other team is, right? Am I right about that, Malay?
Who?
I think the North Stars back.
The alumni game.
That's
They're
it.
wearing North Stars.
Oh,
They didn't even put that on TV half the time, do they? Yeah, it depends on there, I guess. I miss the Minnesota North Stars.
Yeah, great
Mike
jersey.
Modano getting his ass handed to him by Jaromir Jagr and Mario Lemieux. And Bellows, the titty fucker. It's a good job, Bellows. Why don't you lay on the ice like a broad, Bellows? Brian Bellows. Lay on the ice, you tit fucker.
You big pussy.
You big pussy. Isn't that the greatest clip of all time?
It
Lay on
is.
the ice,
I love
Bellows. You big tit fucker. God, that's wonderful. Los Angeles Kings, they're in Vancouver. How do you think you're going to do tonight, Mr. Malay?
it. Jeff Carter's out, but I have faith.
Yes. Yes. Well, so does Evander Kane in the justice system. 10:30 late night game, Colorado. They're in San Jose to take on. They're in San Jose to take on. Well, I don't know. Let me check. The Sharks. I know it'd be exciting. The Sharks suck. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. A little note on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Do keep in mind that, well, I don't know if he's in Tortorella's crosshairs, but Nick Foligno hasn't played since about the 20th. So,
Well, you know.
Yeah, he's got an injury.
I like Nick Foligno. I do. I think he's a real leader. I hope he's not one of these leadership problems at Court. I'd be very disappointed. I just can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, see that from like Rick Nash. Big boring thing. But I tell you something. If Luongo doesn't get his shit together when he gets back, all he's going to hear is, "Get out of my crease!" I have the utmost faith in the justice system.